good morning, afternoon, evening. Everyone, life is full of challenges, unexpected situations, and people who test our patience. We often find ourselves in situations where emotions take control, pushing us to react impulsively. But have you ever noticed that reacting in anger, frustration, or panic rarely leads to the best outcomes today? I want to share with you the power of staying calm, and why mastering this skill can transform your life. One of the biggest differences between a reactive person and a calm person is how they handle unexpected situations. Reacting is often immediate, impulsive, and fueled by emotions. It happens without much thought, like snapping back at someone in anger, making a rash decision under pressure, or acting purely based on feelings rather than logic. While reacting may provide temporary relief, it usually leads to regret, misunderstandings, or unnecessary conflicts. On the other hand, responding is a conscious choice. It involves taking a step back, analyzing the situation, and deciding on the best course of action. When we respond instead of react, we allow ourselves to think critically and logically. We remove emotions from the driver's seat and let reason take control. The response is well thought out, considerate, and measured. It helps maintain peace, prevent escalation, and create a better outcome. Consider this: imagine someone insults you in front of a group. A reactive person might immediately lash out, say something equally hurtful, or walk away, feeling defeated. But a calm person who chooses to respond rather than react would pause the consequences of emotional reactions, assess whether the words deserve response, and if so, address the situation in a composed manner by responding thoughtfully. They retain their dignity, maintain control over their emotions, and often turn the situation in their favor. The ability to respond instead of react is a skill that can be developed over time. It requires patience, self-awareness, and the willingness to pause before taking action. By practicing mindfulness, controlling our emotions, and thinking before we speak, we can shift from being reactive to being responsive. And in doing so, we not only improve our interactions with others, but also gain a sense of inner peace and control of our own lives. In moments of tension, stress, or conflict, our ability to make good decisions is often compromised when we react emotionally. We allow feelings like anger, frustration, or fear to dictate our actions. These emotions cloud our judgment, making us more likely to make rash choices that we later regret. How many times have we seen people say or do something in the heat of the moment, only to realize afterward that they acted impulsively? Emotional reactions often lead to poor decisions because they lack careful thought and reasoning. When we stay calm, however, we give ourselves the ways to think rationally and weigh our options before making a decision. Calmness brings clarity, allowing us to see situations from a broader perspective rather than being consumed by immediate emotion. A composed mind is more analytical, objective, and capable of considering both short-term and long-term consequences. Instead of acting on impulse, a calm person takes a moment to assess the situation, understand the facts, and then respond in a way that leads to the best possible outcome. For example, imagine you're in a business meeting where someone criticizes your work in front of others. If you react angrily, you might defend yourself aggressively, damaging your reputation and relationships with colleagues. But if you stay calm, you can take a deep breath, listen to their perspective, and then respond in a way that addresses the issue professionally. This not only preserves your credibility but also shows emotional intelligence and leadership. The same principle applies in personal life. If a friend or loved one upsets us, reacting immediately in anger can escalate the situation and hurt the relationship. But if we take a moment to calm down, we can approach the issue with a clear mind, communicate effectively, and then find a resolution instead of creating more conflict. Calmness also helps in making long-term life decisions. Many people rush into choices, whether in relationships, careers, or finances, driven to how calmness enhances decision making by temporary emotion. Later, they realize that they acted without fully considering the consequences. By staying calm and patient, we allow ourselves to think through all aspects of a decision, seek advice if needed, and ensure we're making choices that align with our best interests. Ultimately, better decision making comes from a place of calm, not chaos. When our mind is steady, we can analyze situations more effectively,
think strategically, and make choices that lead to positive outcomes rather than regret in any relationship, whether personal, professional, or social. How we respond to situations plays a significant role in how others
perceive and interact with us. When we overreact, we let emotions take control, often leading to unnecessary arguments, misunderstandings, and damage that can be difficult to repair. Words spoken in anger or frustration can leave lasting scars, and once they are said, they cannot be taken back. Likewise, in professional settings, overreacting can negatively impact one's reputation, making others see them as irrational, difficult to work with, or lacking self-role. Consider friendships and family relationships in moments of disagreement. It's easy to say hurtful things when emotions run high. A single emotional outburst, whether out of anger, jealousy, or frustration, can weaken trust and create distance over time. Repeated overreactions can make people feel like they have to walk on eggshells around us, fearing how we might respond to even minor issues. This can push loved ones away, leading to strained relationships or complete breakdowns in communication. In the workplace, overreacting can be even more damaging. Imagine an employee who explodes in frustration whenever they face criticism or an unexpected challenge. Colleagues and managers might begin to view them as unprofessional, emotionally unstable, or difficult to collaborate with. Opportunities for leadership roles and career growth often go to those who can handle pressure with grace. Overreacting in professional settings can not only harm one's personal image, but also limit career advancement and opportunities for growth. Socially, our reputation is built on how we conduct ourselves in various situations. If we are known for reacting impulsively, people may start avoiding interactions with us, fearing unnecessary drama or conflicts. On the other hand, those who stay composed under pressure and respect and admiration, their ability to stay calm in difficult moments makes them trustworthy and reliable, both in personal and professional circles. Another important aspect is how overreacting affects conflict resolution. When two people are in disagreement, a calm and measured approach allows for the constructive conversation where both parties feel heard and respected. However, when emotions take over and reactions become heated, the role of self-control in success turns into a battle rather than a discussion. Instead of finding solutions, overreactions create resentment, making it harder to resolve issues peacefully. A strong reputation and healthy relationships are built on trust, respect, and emotional intelligence. Overreacting in moments of stress or conflict can undo years of effort in maintaining good connections with others. That's why developing the ability to stay calm, think before responding, and handle situations with a level-headed approach is essential for long-term success. Life stress and anxiety are inevitable parts of life, whether it's a demanding job, financial pressures, personal relationships, or unexpected challenges. We all face situations that test our mental and emotional resilience. However, how we handle these pressures determines their impact on our well-being. A person who panics under stress often finds themselves overwhelmed, exhausted, and unable to think clearly. On the other hand, someone who remains composed can navigate difficulties with a clearer mind, reducing the negative effects of stress and anxiety. When we react emotionally to stress, our body triggers the fight or flight response. This increases heart rate, raises blood pressure, and releases stress hormones like cortisol. While this response is useful in actual emergency, chronic stress and anxiety not only impact mental health but also lead to physical health issues such as headaches, digestive problems, weakened immunity, and even heart disease. Staying calm allows us to regulate our nervous system preventing these harmful effects and promoting overall well-being. A composed mind also improves problem-solving abilities. When we are anxious or stressed, our brain tends to focus on worst-case scenarios, making us feel helpless. Overthinking and catastrophizing often make problems seem bigger than they actually are. However, by staying calm, we can shift our focus from panic, problem solving. Instead of feeling trapped, we can analyze the situation logically, identify possible solutions, and take appropriate steps. For example, imagine an employee who is given a sudden deadline at work. A reactive person might immediately feel overwhelmed, complain, or rush through the task, leading to mistake their stress, might make the situation feel unmanageable. But a calm person would take a deep breath, break the task into smaller steps, prioritize what needs to be done, and complete it efficiently without unnecessary panic. This ability to stay composed under pressure not only improves productivity but also builds confidence in handling future challenges. Another crucial effect is how calmness affects decision making. Under stress, people who react impulsively often make poor choices in moments of high tension. For instance, someone dealing with financial stress might panic and make hasty decisions, like quitting a job or making risky investments, leading to even bigger problems. But a composed individual would, how staying calm improves communication. Take a step back, assess their options, and make a strategic decision that aligns with their long-term well-being. Practicing mindfulness, deep breathing, and self-awareness are effective ways to train the mind to stay calm in stressful situations. Meditation, exercise, and maintaining a healthy routine also contribute to reducing overall anxiety levels. The more we train ourselves to remain composed, the better we become at handling life's inevitable challenges without letting stress consume us. A composed mind doesn't mean ignoring stress or pretending problems don't exist. It means facing them with a balanced, thoughtful approach rather than letting emotions dictate our reactions. When we master the ability to remain calm, we gain control over our lives rather than allowing external pressures to control us. Many people mistakenly associate emotional outbursts with power, believing that reacting aggressively or loudly makes them appear strong and dominant. However, true strength lies in the ability to control emotions rather than be controlled by them. A person who can remain calm and composed in the face of adversity demonstrates a level of self-mastery that few possess. The ability to stay in control of one's thoughts, words, and actions, even in difficult situations, is what sets truly strong individuals apart from the rest. Self-control is often tested in moments of anger, frustration, or stress. When someone insults us, provokes us, or challenges our patience, the easiest response is to react emotionally, but a strong person understands that reacting impulsively can have negative consequences. Instead of letting emotions dictate their actions, they take a step back, assess the situation, and choose their response wisely. This level of restraint is not a sign of weakness, rather, it reflects deep inner strength and emotional intelligence. Consider the world's greatest leaders, thinkers, and successful individuals. They do not allow their emotions to dictate their decisions. Instead, they remain calm, under pressure, maintain a clear mind, and act in a way that aligns with their goals and values. People who lack self-control, on the other hand, often find themselves in regrettable situations, saying things they shouldn't, making decisions they later regret, or allowing temporary emotions to damage long-term relationships. Self-control is also crucial in personal relationships, whether it's a disagreement with a spouse, friend, or family member. Those who can regulate their emotions contribute to healthier and more meaningful connections. Arguments escalate when both parties lose control, but when one person remains calm, they can de-escalate the situation and lead it toward resolution rather than destruction. In professional settings, self-control is a valuable asset. Avoiding manipulation through composure, employees, managers, and leaders who can remain composed under stress earn respect and trust. Imagine a boss who constantly yells at employees when things go wrong versus one who calmly assesses the situation and provides constructive feedback. The latter is far more effective and respected because they exhibit control over their emotions instead of letting frustration take over self-control. Also extends to self-discipline in daily life, whether it's resisting the urge to react negatively, avoiding distractions while working, or staying committed to long-term goals despite setbacks. Those who master self-control achieve greater success. Discipline and emotional control allow people to stay focused on their aspirations rather than being derailed by momentary impulses. Building self-control takes practice. It requires self-awareness, patience, and the willingness to pause before reacting. Simple techniques such as deep breathing, counting to 10, or taking a short walk before responding to a situation can make a significant difference over time. Exercising self-control becomes second nature, leading to better decision-making, improved relationships, and a sense of inner peace. Those who can master their emotions, rather than being enslaved by them, hold true power. Strength is not about how loudly one can react, but how wisely one can respond. Effective communication is one of the most important skills in life, whether in personal relationships, professional environments, or social interactions. The way we communicate determines how well we connect with others, how conflicts are resolved, and how our words are received. When we react emotionally in conversations, especially in moments of disagreement, our message often gets lost in the heat of the moment. Staying calm, however, ensures that we communicate clearly, respectfully, and with understanding. When people engage in discussions or debates, emotions can quickly take over, leading to raised voices, defensive attitudes, and misunderstandings. In such situations, the main objective of the conversation often shifts from solving the issue to proving a point or winning the argument. This is counterproductive because neither party truly listens to the other. When we stay calm, we remain open to hearing different perspectives, which fosters better understanding and meaningful dialogue rather than a battle of words. For instance, consider a disagreement between two friends. If both individuals start shouting and reacting impulsively, the conversation becomes emotionally charged and hurtful. Words may be exchanged. However, if at least one person remains calm, they can guide the conversation back to logic, helping both parties express their thoughts in a constructive way. This makes it easier to find common ground, leading to resolution instead of prolonged resentment. In professional setting, staying calm while communicating is crucial. Workplace conflicts, negotiations, or customer service interactions require emotional inner peace and emotional stability. Restrained employees who respond with frustration to criticism or pressure may harm their professional reputation, while those who handle discussions with composure earn respect. A calm person can de-escalate tense situations, helping to maintain harmony. In the workplace, leaders who communicate calmly and clearly inspire confidence in their teams, and as people are more likely to trust and follow those who remain composed under pressure. Another key benefit of staying calm is that it enhances active listening. When we are emotionally reactive, we tend to listen to reply rather than to understand. Our minds race with counter-arguments, and we may interrupt or misunderstand what the other person is trying to convey. But when we stay calm, we truly listen, process information more effective, and respond thoughtfully. This not only improves our relationships, but also ensures that we are making well-informed responses rather than knee-jerk reactions. Additionally, calm communication helps in avoiding misunderstandings. Many conflicts arise not because of what was said, but because of how it was said. A frustrated tone, an angry facial expression or a dismissive attitude can turn a simple conversation into a conflict. Staying calm allows us to choose our words carefully and maintain a neutral or positive tone, making it easier for others to receive our message without defensiveness or hostility. Another aspect of calm communication is its ability to diffuse tense situations. In moments of conflict, People tend to mirror the emotions of those around them. If one person is aggressive, the other is likely to become defensive. However, if one person remains calm, their composed demeanor can influence the other person to lower their emotional intensity. This is why skilled negotiators, therapists, and leaders emphasize the power of calm communication. It sets the tone for rational discussion and peaceful resolution. Practicing calm communication requires patience and mindfulness before responding to a difficult conversation. Taking a deep breath, pausing, and choosing words carefully can make a significant difference. The goal of communication is not just to be heard but to be understood, and staying calm is the key to ensuring that our words are received in the right way. One of the greatest risks of being reactive is that it makes us vulnerable, liable to manipulation. When we allow our emotions to dictate our actions, we give others the power to control us. People who understand how to push our buttons can easily provoke reactions that benefit them while harming us. By staying calm and composed, we take back that control, ensuring that our decisions and actions come from a place of reason rather than emotional influence. There are many situations where emotional reactions can be used against us in conflicts. For example, a person who wants to get a reaction from us might practical strategies to stay calm, say something intentionally provocative. If we react impulsively, whether by getting angry, defensive, or emotional, they succeed in throwing us off balance. This can be seen in arguments between friends, workplace, confrontations, and even in competitive environments. That the moment we lose our temper, we lose control of the situation. The other person who remains calm now has the advantage. They can steer the conversation in a way that makes us look irrational or overly emotional, ultimately weakening our position. This kind of manipulation is also common in negotiation. Skilled negotiators understand that emotional decision making often leads to poor choices. If a salesperson, for example, senses desperation in a buyer, they may use urgency tactics to pressure them into making a rushed decision. Similarly, in business or legal disputes, an opponent may attempt to provoke an emotional outburst to make us appear unstable or unprofessional. The more reactive we are, the easier it is for others to use our emotions to their advantage. Social media and public perception also play a role in emotional manipulation. Online people often bait others into heated debates or arguments. Knowing that an impulsive response can be taken out of context or used against them. Public figures in particular are often targeted by those who want to provoke an emotional reaction that can damage their reputation. By staying calm and thinking before responding, we can prevent ourselves from falling into these traps. In relationships, emotional manipulation can be even more damaging. Toxic individuals may intentionally provoke emotional reactions to shift blame, create guilt, or gain control. This can be seen in personal relationships where one person deliberately upsets the other to make them feel guilty, forcing them into compliance. Narcissists and manipulators often use this strategy to keep others in a reactive state, making it easier to control their emotions and decisions. By maintaining composure, we deny manipulators the ability to control us. When someone attempts to provoke a reaction and we respond with calmness, we take away their power. Instead of reacting immediately, taking a pause allows us to assess the situation, recognize manipulation tactics, and respond in a way that aligns with our best interest. This ability to remain unaffected by provocation makes us mentally and emotionally strong, ensuring that our actions are always intentional rather than impulsive. Self-awareness plays a crucial role in avoiding emotional manipulation. Recognizing our triggers and practicing emotional regulation techniques such as deep breathing, mindfulness, and self-reflection helps us stay in control. When we master the ability to stay calm under pressure, we become immune to manipulation making it impossible for others to dictate our emotions. And real-life examples are calmness in action, reactions in today's fast-paced and often chaotic world. Maintaining inner peace and emotional stability is essential for overall well-being. When we react impulsively to every stressful situation, every disagreement and every challenge, we create unnecessary turmoil in our lives. However, by cultivating a sense of calmness, we protect ourselves from emotional exhaustion, anxiety, and stress. A calm mind does not mean avoiding emotions, it means understanding them, managing them effectively, and refusing to let them control our actions. Inner peace comes from mastering the ability to remain composed in the face of adversity. Many people live in a state of constant reactivity, allowing external events to dictate their emotion. If someone criticizes them, they immediately feel hurt or angry. If something goes wrong, they panic. If a challenge arises, they feel overwhelmed. This constant emotional turbulence leads to stress, unhappiness, and even health problems. On the other hand, and those who stay calm develop resilience, allowing them to navigate life's ups and downs without being thrown off course by every setback. Emotional stability means being in control of our feelings rather than being controlled by them. A stable person does not allow temporary emotions to dictate long-term actions. They recognize that feelings like anger, frustration, and sadness are natural, but they do not have to lead to negative behaviors. Instead of reacting impulsively, they take a step back, process their emotions, and choose a response that aligns with their values and goals. This approach prevents regretful actions and ensures that their decisions are based on logic and wisdom rather than freeing emotions. Calmness also strengthens mental clarity. When the mind is constantly disturbed by stress, anger, or anxiety, it becomes difficult to focus and think rationally. Overthinking and emotion